So then, using voice, I think it's the next big thing.
Yeah, true. It's the next
Right.
UI, yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, we launched voice mode about 6 months ago, and it's one of my favorite features in Cleve. I use it all the time. So I would open Cleve, just brain dump my thoughts while I'm sometimes walking in a supermarket. I'll be just talking to my phone, like I've got these random ideas. So I think that is probably going to be the one of the big ways that we interact with technology, especially because voice models have gotten so good, so good. Like they really understand the nuances in different languages, and even when I speak with Malaysian slang and stuff like that, you can understand too. So it's very cool. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a big advocate for voice as a form factor as well. You know, there's
Your iPhone first.
there you go. There you go. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Mini CEO podcast. So today we have Ashwin here and Rashad, and at the background you can see that we're in their office and with the background of CLEVE. All right, so let me welcome you first, since for the audience who don't know who are you, I'll let Ashwin to introduce himself briefly and then go on to Rashad.
Cool. Hey everyone, my name is Ashwin. I'm from Sarawak. Yeah, been in the game. I guess we started Cleve about a year ago. I was an engineer studying engineering, built a marketing agency, and then now Cleve. Yeah.
Okay, and Rashad?
So hi everyone, I'm Rashad. I'm the CTO and co-founder of CLEVE.AI, and I studied computer engineering, and then that's how I got into Gen AI, where I got into the opportunity to do research with MIT about Gen AI, and then that's how I got into the Gen AI field, and then that's how now I'm in the CLEVE.AI, building AI startups. Yeah.
Right, that's so cool. I want to dive more deeper into your background and experience. I know you have a third co-founder who is Liz, is not here today. So tell us more story from there, like how do you build CLEVE.AI?
Yeah, so actually what happened was, we were looking at problems to solve, and I think when we were seeing lots of the rise of the creator economy and people I think the earlier people were like Gary Vee and stuff, and then we had Alex Hormozi, and then we continue seeing more and more business influencers come around, and especially with like Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi, you would see them kind of like openly kind of talk about how they've been doing it, their systems, processes. Both of them have $20,000, $30,000 per month teams that have been built up, probably $100,000 a month. But yeah, you can see the level of value that they get from doing these kinds of personal branding oriented activities is really significant. And I think that's kind of the future of where marketing is headed, because like Gary Vee can tweet about something, or Alex Hormozi can tweet about something, and it can literally skyrocket the stock market. It can have lots of, they basically have built up this level of influence, right? Personal influence. And I think that's kind of like where traditional marketing has been all about, just creating content on business pages and building a brand, which takes time and is important to still do. But we've seen so much more leverage from personal brand driven marketing. People like Naval Ravikant, people like, who else? Big personal brands.
Ali Abdal.
Yeah, Ali Abdal. Yeah. Oh yeah, important example. Yeah. So I think we were kind of like looking at, okay, what are the systems and tools and what are the problems that these people are facing, and general business owners as well are facing when trying to get into this. And we realized there's kind of a gap in what the existing technology can do versus what their needs are, right? So that's where we realized that, okay, maybe if we could leverage AI to fill some of these gaps, especially when they're considering hiring a person, but it's really expensive. So there are other alternatives to be more efficient with less time, rather than hiring and stuff. So that's kind of like where the basis of CLEVE.AI came from.
That is a very cool story, because it sounds to me like been listening to Gary Vaynerchuk and this Alex Hormozzi. I listen to all their podcasts as well,
Yeah.
and I think you're into that motivational speaker kind of content. So you want to build this kind of a business so that everyone can have their own personal brand. Is that
Yeah.
how I break it down? That's how you want to create.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
That is cool. And so talk more about how, and then you have to deep dive into the specific business, right, that you want to create value for the people, right? So how did you go through that journey?
Yeah, I think we're still iterating, so even until today. So like we're still trying to find what's the best solution to help people and how we can help people the best, essentially, leveraging the latest AI technologies and what's capable in the industry, right? I think that's the thing with startups, right? You have a core problem that you focus on, but then the specific solution kind of changes all the time, and you try to find the right solution. And then when you get that right solution, and then it addresses the core problem for a large segment of people, then things really take off. I think our initial solutions have helped quite a sizable number of people, but we're still trying to find the best one that will really take off. And we're still in that phase of experimenting and iterating and having fun along the way.
Right. So how long has it been already since this CLEVE.AI has born until now?
Yeah, about a year.
Oh, okay, that's new.
It feels like it's been a lot longer.
Yeah, it does. It does. So throughout this whole year, is there any ups and downs, and how do you form the team? I heard that you recruited Rashad from after you formed this idea. So one of the tough challenges that for startup founders is to meet new co-founders, or get them to really onboard into your team. And now he's here with us, sitting here doing this podcast. So I think that's a very cool story. Would you like to tell us more about how you get to recruit him?
Yeah. So actually, I met Ashwin like 3 years ago from a mutual friend, like on a dinner. But we didn't talk much. But that's how I followed him on LinkedIn and stuff. And like 3 years later, I saw his post about he's building CLEVE.AI, and he doesn't have a CTO, and I was very aligned with the idea as well. So that's why then I reached out to him, and then we meet over a networking event, and then we start talking from there, and finally how we met, how we become co-founders. Yeah.
Right. So can you tell us more about your background? I know you're a CTO,
Yeah.
but how does that transition and got into building a startup? Why not just go on other path? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was studying computer engineering in my uni, and then at some point I was writing. I started writing blogs, and actually that's how I made my first money, like from people reading my blogs, and that's also like how I started my freelancing. Like I started getting clients from people reading my blogs and stuff, and after graduation I just keep freelancing like for about 2 or 3 years, just mainly coming from my personal brand, which is my blogs. And that's how but then I realized that I couldn't like continue writing while working like full time. So that's when I realized like why not build a tool like to help me write the blogs or contents.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how then I decided to build like startup and CLEVE.AI. Yeah.
So I have questions on that. So you have your own personal brand before joining CLEVE.AI.
Yeah.
And you were already thinking of this idea, which is aligned with CLEVE.AI as well, with Ashwin's vision. So all just come together. It is by chance or luck that you would call it, or
Yeah.
how?
I think it's also about creating your own luck, because it's very important to us all to share your ideas, to post content, so then people who actually have the same idea then can reach out to you, because you just keep it yourself and no one's know. I didn't know Ashwin was thinking about building that. I won't reach out to him and we'll never meet. So I think like creating your personal brand actually like increasing the chance of getting that lucky opportunity, like or finding co-founders or finding clients or anything. Yeah.
That is so cool. Yes.
I have a bit to add to that. So like, if you ask any founder, especially both me and Lizzie, we were building at the time and we were looking for a CTO, right? If you ask any business founder in Malaysia, they will tell you that finding a good technical person to be your CTO and join at at the early stages before you even have anything is one of the hardest things to do. It's super duper hard to find good technical people, and then also good technical people who align with the vision, with the specific vision that you have is like even harder, right? And people who also see that pain point, they believe in it themselves, they want to build a product to solve that, is also even harder, right? So the probability of finding that person, even if you find a lot of good technical people, is like even slimmer to find the right technical person who's also aligned with, basically dedicating their next 1 year, next 5 years, 10 years to the company. That's really, really hard, right? And I think in areas where super low probabilities exist, I think we were in a position where we basically needed to make sure that we found someone in 3 months after securing the Antler funding. Not for any other reason other than like we need to move forward, right? We need to get the company going. And I was posting a lot about it, trying to also get like-minded people to take notice and reach out. And then, I met a whole bunch of people as a result in a much shorter time than usually these things kind of take years to coincidentally meet someone who's aligned, right? And I think that's kind of like the thing that Rashad was talking about with increasing your probability of luck. Increasing your probability of good outcomes and your surface area of luck, essentially. I think that's kind of like the big, the big thing for us as well.
And not just luck, right? You also put in a lot of effort, like your CTO was also posting a lot. So coming back to that, I heard from Ashwin that you were quite famous. So for those who don't know about you, please introduce yourself. Maybe you have lots of followers count on TikTok or whatever. Tell us where your channel is, like for your personal brand. I'm interested to know.
Okay, so my personal brand started on Medium, I think. Like I started writing AI tutorials, and it was at the time was when the ChatGPT comes out and Gen AI become very popular. There was very little content on generative AI, so then suddenly my blogs is become like the top read.
So you blow up.
Yeah, I blew up. Yeah. So and then that's how I got my clients, and my freelancing suddenly becomes going really well. And then once I started the CLEVE, actually, then I decided to try other channels, which is the TikTok. So then I just started TikTok, I think, last year, and posting about the startups or just my life in general, and get about not big, it's 10,000 followers. But yeah.
That is a lot.
10,000 followers with like 5 million plus views, I think.
Oh yeah, well, 500.
Oh wow, 5 million plus views. So we have a famous person here in the room with us. All right, so I think that's a very interesting CLEVE story that you've told us. And how was the journey? It's like when people post how does your product work? Yeah, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I think fundamentally what's stopping a lot of smart people from posting, right, or great people, is number one, it's time, right? And specifically, what about the time is number one, they don't know what to post about, so they're always stuck in that empty page, don't know where to start problem. And then number two, it's that after they have the idea, they just don't have the time to spend 1 or 2 hours just sitting down and writing it out fully, right? So as a result, they just end up not posting, and then they never get to progress on their personal brand. I think we tackled both of those problems. So for example, for ideas, there's this explore page in CLEVE where you can just drop down. Number one, you'll see thousands of personalized ideas to you. So based on your specific profile, you'll get lots of ideas that you can choose from. And then for the content writing side, we have a series of tools, including AI editing, including getting your first draft out in a couple seconds, and then being able to just use your voice to just drop down ideas, for example. So lots of little things to help, to make the whole writing process and getting to your post really, really fast.
Wow, that's cool. So it has been a year. How is the users how probably you can share the number of users, and I think at some point it blew up on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, tell us more on that.
Yeah. So we've had year. It's been really amazing, like seeing the community engage and like the support that we've gotten for the product. I think the problem really resonated with a lot of people. We're at about 20,000 users right now, and then in December is kind of like where we launched a viral campaign which drove a lot of that sudden growth, right? Which was the LinkedIn Unwrapped, where we basically made the Spotify Wrapped for LinkedIn, and we used a lot of AI to build that. And yeah, basically, I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah.
I like that one. Please keep that feature, the LinkedIn Unwrapped, so that we all can keep track of it. So, who are have some of the users who are pretty famous, like maybe they have their own personal brand, are using your product? What?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I think most of the Malaysian LinkedIn influencers have definitely tried out CLEVE, and like a lot of them have become friends through the journey, and then also a number of Singaporean ones. Let's see, I'm not sure if I should name names, but yeah, many people who are over 50, 100,000 followers as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, because it's pretty much a B2C business model, right? So, like, was there any challenge to really get the users? Like, I know that the platform that you have built was free, something like 8 credits per
Mhm.
month. Tell us more, like how is your strategy to penetrate the market?
Yeah, so we wanted to make, I think with a lot of these kinds of tools, especially B2C, right? We chose B2C over B2B because the good thing about B2C is it really pushes you to create high quality products very quickly and iterate fast, because customers are, with B2C, right? It's someone's own money which they're putting into the product, and if it's not delivering sufficient value, they're going to churn. So the pressure to iterate fast and give value and like figure things out and get feedback, right, is a lot higher, and it helps us with iterating quickly on the product. I think, yeah, and then, oh my gosh, what was your question again?
Like, how do you penetrate the market
Oh,
with
yeah.
the B2C model? Because you have
Yeah.
to be very active on LinkedIn. I think, does your product only work on LinkedIn? What about other channel like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook?
Yeah, okay. So I think like so far it's been largely organic growth. So as people post about us and stuff like that, we would get lots of users just signing up. We are kind of being a bit more generous with our free tier to get more acquisition and then like get more users using us regularly, and building the habits and stuff. And then yeah, we do have a paid tier which has a couple of more bigger features and more important features as well. For example, the statistics, which we just launched recently as well. Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, in terms of the other part of the question, which is what other platforms do we support? I think a lot of our users use us for LinkedIn, Twitter threads as well as newsletters, like writing email newsletters. So they repurpose their same ideas for multiple channels.
Is there the Gen AI part of your product? Can it remember the way I write, or the tone basically, or my way of thoughts of, like, my personal brand is unique to me? Does it have that capture of my essence about me?
Yeah, so we just implemented memory system, and also like we import your LinkedIn posts. Once you connect your LinkedIn, and we just import all your past LinkedIn writings, and then we try to incorporate that on your generated content to follow the writing style. So,
Wow.
yeah, and we also have this like system where, because sometimes like you only want to follow a specific style of your post, so you can just like the post that you want it to follow.
Oh,
writing
you
style,
can
yeah.
select the specific style that I wrote before,
Yeah,
and
there-
then regenerate or repurpose some of my other posts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
That is cool. So yeah, Rashad. So working on AI, writing blogs about AI in the early age, before ChatGPT boom, and so how was your journey with AI? Is like, so for example, your opinion on the AI technology has transformed over the years since you were in it pretty early. So what do you think, like what's your vision about this AI is gonna transform CLEVE.AI as well?
Yeah, I think it's definitely changing lives. That it democratized a lot of things that you couldn't do before. Like one of the first reason why I get into Gen AI was because I couldn't draw. And if I wanted to make arts or for my games or something, I cannot draw. So that's why I wanted to get into Gen AI so I can use AI to build design characters for me and stuff. But yeah, and now you can also even use AI to build MVPs very quickly. So now people like with less experience on coding can just build whatever they want pretty quickly. So it's definitely like enable a lot of people to actually do things, build cool stuff very quickly, and it's very good. So far, I'm
Okay.
enjoying the growth of AI, technologies.
That is cool. So with all this new latest model like
Yeah.
001 or I think there's ChatGPT 4.5 that
Yeah.
capture your emotion or tone. So probably you explore that and also put more of that in it, right?
Yeah.
Like the Claude code, something like that. So I believe that, so random question. How many times you think a person like me who's trying to grow my LinkedIn to maybe 10,000. I'm not greedy, 10,000. How many times I should post a day or a week or a month?
As much as you can, to be honest. I would recommend, because like when you don't post enough, sometimes even just once a week is actually pretty solid. But of course, the more you post, the faster your growth potential would be. So I try to generally aim for like 3 times a week. Yeah, if you can do daily, that's even better. But a lot of times, right, quality does matter more than quantity, especially on LinkedIn. Because like I've tried both, where I was posting like 7 times a week and I was posting like 3 or 4 times a week. And just by having the additional space to think a bit better and think a bit clearer about the writing that I was doing, and being more selective of which ideas I actually put out rather than just whatever ideas exists, yeah, you can tend to get a lot higher performance on just those 3 really good posts rather than trying to do a lot of volume but not really putting much thought into the writing. Yeah.
That is cool. So we still need to sort of like specifically target what kind of idea that we want to generate, right? Do you think that in any way that AI can also do this task for us, which is to identify what are the more quality posts that is suited for our personal brand to post it rather than us using our brain. I mean, I'm a bit lazy, so I wish AI could do that for me. What do you think?
Yeah, so that's actually a big part of like what we do as well. So like as Cleve reads your past posts, reads your profile, analyzes who you are, the whole ideation, like all the explore page and places where Cleve gives you ideas of what to write about, is all personalized based on that. And the way we do it is we try to prompt the models to get questions that your target audience would be most likely interested about you. So then, as long as you answer those questions in the form of content, then you might be able to basically create content that your target audience is really curious about. Yeah.
Wow. And does that also provide some analytics for me, like what kind of ideas or posts that I should be doing more? Because when something works, you just wanna keep doing it, right?
Mhm.
Does Cleve also provides that?
Yeah, so we just launched our analytics module, where that's where you can get like in-depth AI reports, where it's kind of like having an AI data analyst, like social media data analyst, look through all your posts, analyze which ones are performing, and then give some reasonings around why they think it's performing. And yeah, it's very interesting to read. But at the end of the day, right, I would always highly recommend you asking yourself as well, like, what do you want to be known for? And what do you think is your value to the world? And sometimes it's as simple as, when you're having a conversation like this and you're sharing something about your startup journey, right? And then you realize, oh, wow, this is actually very helpful. Like, I feel like I should share this with more people. Usually, beyond AI and beyond all this stuff, that's kind of like where the best ideas come from. And I would always highly recommend just like keep having those real world conversations with people. Pay attention to what's exciting you, what is driving your energy, and as long as you write in that direction, you can kind of optimize everything in the whole LinkedIn thing. But the most important thing is actually yourself and your energy and like how you want to show up in the world.
That is cool. So it's like a constant update to the AI model telling him that, hey, I actually got this new creative idea that I want you to create a post about.
Yeah, and then the model will continuously learn about you through that as well. Yeah.
Okay. As I was speaking to you, as you were telling me all these stories, so imagine this CLEVE.AI can automate or autopilot by itself. Then it's just an idea that I want to share with you right here on this podcast. So maybe you can try it. Is that so if it already understands the analytics of my LinkedIn profile, the type of tone I use, the ideas I have or the angle, like for example, I'm doing a podcast for a founder, like a founder support group, and it can autopilot by itself and churn like 3 posts a week for me that is very specifically targeted to my audience. And what would be great is that I just use my voice or I just talk to the AI using your platform to say that, oh, hey, I have this idea. Can you help me generate the post? And then you just keep updating every week. So I don't even need to type anymore. And it's scheduled for myself, for me, schedule itself for the 3 posts a week. I think that would be a great tool for me. And I can just do any other thing without really going into and checking or posting, or maybe it can just give me a report every week and tell me how it's doing, and I just come up with some idea and tell it. Yeah, that is something I just thought about. What do you think? Can it autopilot on its own like that?
I think we did think of creating an agentic content creations. But one thing that we want to avoid was people just generate content over and over again. Like we want to encourage people actually inputting their thoughts and their experience and stuff, rather than just generating the usual AI rubbish.
So something like. So I was thinking something like, okay, today I came to the work office and interview both Ashwin and Rashad. So I can just use my voice and just talk to the CLEVE.AI and get it to generate posts like this, something like that. Because I'm so lazy to type. I've been typing for like maybe documents or any product feature or coding. So then, using voice, I think it's the next big thing.
Yeah, true. It's the next UI, And actually, we launched voice mode about 6 months ago, and it's one of my favorite features in CLEVE. I use it all the time. So like, I would open CLEVE, just brain dump my thoughts while I'm sometimes walking in a supermarket. I'll be just talking to my phone, like I've got these random ideas. So like I think that is probably going to be one of the big ways that we interact with technology, especially because voice models have gotten so good, so good. Like they really understand the nuances in different languages, and even when I speak with Malaysian slang and stuff like that, you can understand too. So it's very cool. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a big advocate for voice as a form factor as well. There's. There you go. There you go. So ChatGPT, they have this voice mode on your phone as well. I use it a lot to actually record my thought process, because sometimes writing is slower, typing is slower, so talking for a human is naturally faster. So so talking about your startup, what are the biggest challenge that you have been facing for the whole year? And I can see that you're one of the startup that have an office that I come and visit. So I think maybe the challenge is very minimal, but talk about the good and bad, doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, honestly, this is like our second day in this office, by the way. So, yeah, officially. So, yeah, it's a work in progress. I think the whole startup journey has been quite interesting. I think the biggest challenges has always been like, I think more self-related rather than actually business-related. So a lot of self-confidence, self-esteem, like figuring out, are you on the right path when there are so many paths ahead of you, right? You could go into the document editing space, you could go into the personal branding space. And then there's the second brain knowledge management space, enterprise options, and you always kind of have this wonder: are you making the right decisions? And then and because every decision is also, you don't have much data to work with. It's just largely, often it's largely intuition based, and your general feel of the market and stuff. So I think it's always going to be that kind of process of like, learning to be confident in your own decisions and being okay with like, if this is a 51% better option, let's just do it and don't look back until proven otherwise, and then you look back and then you continue, right? I think that's it for me.
That's cool. Okay, coming to the final one. If there is a ask or anything that you wanted to get help for your startup, so we are the Mini CEO channel. We want to help founders, like a founder support group, to, if there's someone that the audience is listening to has the market access or connect to a certain people or organization that you need help with, or to boost your startup, what would that be?
I think largely, feel free to try out the product for free. Give us feedback. I think that's actually the biggest thing.
More users.
More users, and also just feedback, like quality feedback. Like, it helps so much. And not just the good stuff, like I like this about the product, which is helpful. But what's even more helpful is often the bad stuff. Like, what can we work on? Because, we're here, where every day our job is basically to try to solve this problem of creating content and helping you build your personal brand better. If there's anything that, people have ideas or things that could be better about the product, we're all ears, and we really want to grow and improve fast.
So how can they give you that piece of feedback?
Oh yeah, okay. So you can either DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Ashwin Praveen, or you can also just chat with us in the customer support. That's where we're most responsive. Where on the CLEVE page at the bottom right, there's like a small chat, and you can just say hi and stuff as well. And I'll also give you free credits if you say hi, by the way. So.
Wow, that is a tip if you listen to this end of the podcast as well. That's cool. So just one very final question is there a lot of people who use that to give feedback so far?
Oh yeah, actually, it's been really, really nice and overwhelming. Actually, how much positivity and like how much people come and share their ideas and stuff, and it's actually helped so much in our product direction and our thinking. I think especially in early stages, it's super important to be as close as possible to your early users and early customers. That's something that we try to do our best at, and really, really appreciate that.
That is a very good piece of advice. So we're coming to an end. We will share more about the details or CLEVE.AI linked on the podcast as well. And very thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for inviting me into your office. I see a lot of sticky notes around here. Yes, thank you very much.